Yeah, it's will pass.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, May 28th, 2019 meeting of the Durham County Board of Commissioners. I will now share the public charge. The Board of Commissioners asks its members and citizens to conduct themselves in a respectful, courteous manner, both with the board and fellow citizens. At any time, should any member of the board or any citizen fail to observe this public charge, the chair will ask the offending person to leave the meeting until that individual regains personal control. Should decorum fail to be restored, the chair will recess the meeting until such time that a genuine commitment to the public charge is observed. As a courtesy to others, please turn off cell phones during the meeting. Reminder for myself. And I will now ask that we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, States of America, the Republic, nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the announcements. Durham County Board of Elections will conduct educational seminars on voter identification requirements. Educational seminars about photo identification requirements will be held between May and August. All seminars are free, and the community is invited to attend the following dates. North Regional Library, May 30th, from 6 to 8 p.m. South Regional Library, June 20th, from 6 to 8 p.m. East Regional Library, July 18th, 6 to 8 p.m. And the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, August 22nd, 6 to 8 p.m. There will also be the following seminars in Spanish at the Durham County Health and Human Services Building, July 23rd, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 4 to 6 p.m. For additional information, please contact the Durham County Board of Elections at 919-560-0070 or by email elections@dconc.gov. The elderly disabled property tax relief deadline, as well as I believe all of our, and also the disabled veteran property tax relief deadline. Both of these programs' deadlines are on June 1st. We want to encourage for the first one, if you're age 65 or older, totally or permanently disabled, and if your household income is no more than $30,200, you may be eligible for this. If you are a veteran who is totally and permanently disabled through your service, or there are surviving spouses, you may qualify for a $45,020 budget. Your input is vital, So please let the Board of County Commissioners know your priorities by visiting the online budget portal at www.dconc/19-20 budget portal. And also, we will have a public hearing on the budget at our June 10th meeting here in the Durham County Board of Commissioners chambers at 7 p.m., 200 East Main Street. And also, please sign up for Alert Durham, www.alertdurham.com. Any other additional announcements? Did want to share one that was added, that on May 30th at 5 p.m. at the Durham County Convention Center, 301 West Morgan Street, will be the 30th anniversary celebration of the Community Health Coalition, and the theme is Healthy People, Progress, and Policy. And you can find out more about this by calling 919-470-8689 or contacting or looking up the Community Health Coalition website. Okay, we now have a number of minutes for approval this evening. Our PAC 4, February 9th, 2019, PAC 2, meeting April 8th, 2019, regular session April 8th, 2019, and regular session April 22nd, 2019 minutes.
Move approval. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Howerton, seconded by Commissioner Recco. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the minutes are unanimously approved. We have two ceremonial items this evening. The first is for Older Americans Month, and who do we have here? Okay, we have our DSS Director, Ben Rose, here with us for this proclamation, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Hill if you please share that with us, and then we'll hear from Ben.
Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, Older Americans Month 2019. Whereas Durham County includes a growing number of older Americans who enrich our community through their diverse life experiences. And whereas Durham County will have almost 90,000 residents 60 and over by the year 2037. And whereas 1 of every 5 persons will be 65 and over by 2025. And whereas Durham County is committed to strengthening our community by connecting with and supporting older adults, their families, and caregivers, and acknowledging their many valuable contributions to society. And whereas Durham County and Durham County Social Services partners with numerous agencies to ensure the health and well-being and safety of its seniors and provide critical needed supportive services that enable seniors to thrive within the community. And whereas Durham County recognizes the importance of bringing together all generations and engaging in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being for the benefit of all. And whereas Durham County can enhance the lives of older Americans in our community by promoting home and community-based services that support independent living, involving older adults in community events and other activities, providing opportunities for older adults to work, volunteer, learn, lead, and mentor. And whereas Durham County has been accepted into the World Health Organization, AARP, designation process to be an age-friendly community. An age-friendly or livable community has walkable streets, housing and transportation options, access to key services, and opportunities for residents to participate in community activities. And whereas Durham County is actively engaged with community partners and the community at large to create a master aging plan that creates a roadmap and key strategies to ensure services are available for the aged population, promoting wellness and independence for seniors and their caretakers. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Durham County Board of County Commissioners, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May 2019 as Older Americans Month. In Durham County, North Carolina, we urge every resident to take time during this month to recognize older adults and the people who serve them as essential and valuable members of our community. This is the 28th day of May 2019. Wendy Jacobs, Chair, Durham Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you. And thank you, Ben, for being with us for this important proclamation.
Thank you, and thank you so much for receiving this proclamation and considering it tonight. This is our second proclamation this month. We like to proclaim in DSS, I guess. But we are very excited to be here. We wanted to bring this one separately so that we kept this in foster care, let them have their own spotlight, because the elder awareness is just as an important issue for us. And I think one of the figures that really stands out is that 89,929 projected people 65 and over by the year 2037, which is really not that far off when you think about it. That is just an incredible number, up from just about 32,000 right now at this time. So we are really going to see a sharp increase in this population. So to bring awareness to the needs that we have, I thought I wanted to share with you just a couple of, key pieces of data you might like to have. Of course, we talked about 1 in 5 North Carolina residents will be 65 or over by the year 2025, and that we have more people 60 and over in 2019 right now than 18 years or younger in North Carolina. This is talking about North Carolina here. But over the next 20 years, we're going to see in North Carolina the senior population go from 1.6 million to 2.6 million in North Carolina. And that's just an amazing number when you really think about it. The 85 plus group will be one of the fastest growing group of populations that we will see by the year 2036. And this is, of course, due to the baby boomers population reaching that age. We have 26% of seniors live alone, 28% of Durham seniors live alone. And that is typically when you start to see those services, especially if family is not available. We have 37% of the seniors in Durham have some type of disability that we may encounter or experience. 8% live below the poverty level, and as many as I think it's 23% live actually below the 200% poverty level. So again, there's a lot of challenges facing this group, and as you know, we'll probably be talking with you more Thursday because this is one of our topics for discussion. Funding is very limited, it's capped, and the supportive services that we get are hard to come by. There's waiting lists in a lot of these areas. So I think it's really important that we are working towards a master aging plan and becoming an age-friendly community. I think those are really lofty goals that Durham County has set, so I applaud you as a Board of Commissioners for leading the way there, and we are happy to partner with you as DSS and helping to start to pave some of those roads and look at some key strategies for our seniors. We're here to celebrate our seniors and grateful for what they bring to our community and hope to continue to support them all that we can. Thank you again.
Well, thank you, Ben. And I was over at our senior center this week reading a proclamation from the governor with a lot of stakeholders, and there was somebody from the NC Works Career Center talking about how seniors are some of the favorite potential employees. He referred to them as our seasoned workers. So our seniors in our community are still working. They're still engaged and active in our community. They're valuable members of our community, and we want everyone to have a good quality of life for as long as possible. So I'm glad that we as a community are embracing that with our aging plan, and Durham being designated as an age-friendly community. We're on a 3-year track to achieve that. We're just in the beginning of that process, but it's, as you as you mentioned, it's very important for our community. So I would like to invite you to please come forward and accept the proclamation.
Thank you
Thank
very
you. So tonight we have a very special proclamation tonight. I would like to recognize Amia Mitchell to please come forward, and we have a lot of people here supporting you. If you are welcome to also come forward. And I don't know, Keisha, Reverend Lowry, if you would like to also come forward to support Amia. The Durham Board of County Commissioners proclamation recognizing Amia Mitchell, 2019. Whereas Amia Mitchell, a 14-year-old freshman at Hillside High, was born and raised in Durham, North Carolina, and is the daughter of Devekia Hackney. I hope I said that right. Devisha? Is it Devisha? Devisha Hackney, and a resident of McDougall Terrace. And whereas Amia Mitchell and her cousin Zaria Hackney attended a Stop the Bleed training hosted by Durham's Bull City United and conducted by Tricia Smar and Sean Gibson of Duke University Hospital and Captain Carol Reardon of the Durham County Fire and Rescue Department on March 10th, 2019. And whereas Stop the Bleed is a national awareness campaign and call to action intended to cultivate grassroots efforts and encourage bystanders to become trained, equipped, and empowered to help in a bleeding emergency before professional help arrives. And whereas Amia Mitchell received a certificate of completion for her Stop the Bleed training, and whereas Amia Mitchell's cousin, Zaria Hackney, was shot on March 29th, 2019, and Amia Mitchell used skills and knowledge from her Stop the Bleed training by applying pressure to the gunshot wound, having her mother call 911 and refusing to release the pressure until reaching the hospital. And whereas Zaria Hackney is alive and recovering from the gunshot wound because of Amia's quick response and use of Stop the Bleed training. Now, therefore, I, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby recognize Amia Mitchell for her life-saving actions. This, the 28th day of May, 2019, Wendy Jacobs, Chair, Durham Board of County Commissioners. So I just want to say, Amia, you are all of our hero. And if we could just stand and recognize.
I would just like to say I'm Amia Mitchell's mother. I would like to say I'm very thankful, Ms. Keisha Gray, Bull City United. Very thankful that we had the opportunity to take the bleeding class. I'm very thankful for everything they do for the community. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Vicia. I know that you are a very proud mom, and we are also so proud of you. And we are really thankful for what you have done, and we're thankful for our Bull City United staff, for you, Keisha, for our first responders, for the training from our fire department. We would love to hear from you, Amia, if you have anything that you might like to say and share with us. And if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine
I
too.
really don't, but I want to say thank you for everything and all the programs that
And if you could tell us how Zaria is doing.
she's fine. She can move it. Doing a lot.
Thank you for letting us know. Well, important for us to recognize the importance of this program and also just the violence that is happening in our community.
I mean, I'm up here in tears myself, and I was there with. Thank you. Just a few weeks ago, Mr. Davis said, education. Education really plays a major factor when it comes to combating gun violence. Her cousin was 14 at the time that she was shot. Amia just turned a year older. It's an honor and a privilege to work for Bull City United up under the umbrella of public health of Ms. Gail Harris. Thank you. These are the things that Bull City United really wants the community to know, and we have to educate our young adults in preventive measures when gun violence do arrive. We want to fight it before it is being triggered and shot off. But if it does, then we can handle it as a community. One day, we set the appointment to have it in the community for a third time. And we had 30 community members actually come out and sign for it the third time. And the numbers go higher and higher. And that particular day, 2 weeks later, I get a phone call and it's been shots, and the team and we responded, but never in a million years I thought that it would be one of my kids that come and see me every single day. Education. Mr. Davis, I truly thank you for all that you do for the Durham community, and as you can see, your work is right here. This shirt says, "Stop shooting, start living." And this is the reason why I love my job. I'm passionate about my job because as an educator that you guys have now made me to be, I can just pass along the education to others, what I have to survive in this county that I love so much, but it's plagued by gun violence. We're not here to stop. We're not going to stop. We're going to fight this thing head on. And with you guys' help, I just want to say thank you so much. I also would like to thank Captain Reardon and Tricia Smart. If you guys want to come up, it's not a time that I can't call them and say, hey, let's do another class. And they fall over each other, calling and email me so we can have it done. Commissioner Howardton, I just truly want to thank you for following up with the family. It meant a lot to the mom of the victim for you to come and sit down and just hear her story. And when she came to me, she was just so filled with joy to know she was not alone in this fight. So her and her daughter will continue to fight. This family will continue to fight. Her friends will continue to fight. And Bull City United will. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere yet, Amia. So first of all, other commissioners may want to make any comments. I want to give anyone else a chance to speak if they would like to. And Amia, we would like you to please come forward and,
I just wanted to say
Oh,
thank
okay,
you.
Commissioner
I just
Howard.
want to thank you for your courage. Just thank you for being courageous in the work that you do, because that's what it takes. It takes courage. Thank you.
Turned 15 today.
oh, and happy birthday. I think we need to sing happy birthday to you. Let's give Amia another round of applause. So thank you again, and thank you, Mom, too, because we know you've done a good job having such an awesome daughter. Thank you. Okay, we have an important item coming up, which is the swearing in of our Durham County Clerk to the Board, Monica Toomer. So Monica, if you'll come forward. Taylor?
She's so cute.
So what we're going to do is, I've never done this before. I'm going to read it, and then you'll repeat it, okay? County of Durham oath to the Clerk to the Board of the County Commissioners, Durham County, North Carolina. I, Monica Toomer, do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the State of North Carolina therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Clerk to the Board of County Commissioners.
And that I will the duties of clerk,
So help me God.
so help me God.
I, Monica Toomer, W. Toomer, actually, I guess this was, let me see. No, this is separate. Okay. I, Monica W. Toomer,
I, Monica,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
dearly
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
that I will be faithful to allegiance
and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof,
for the government,
to the Constitution,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities which or may be established for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the
said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
of the said state, not inconsistent of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
to the best abilities.
And so you, Monica Toomer, Clerk to the Board, Durham County, subscribed and sworn before me this 28th day of May, 2019, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Durham County Board of Commissioners. Congratulations. Looks like there may be a few family members here. And Monica, if you would like to share it.
Of course, I didn't prepare anything to say, but I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I came on here at Durham County as a staff assistant in 2013, and Michelle Parker Evans, she's now retired, but she welcomed me in. She said she saw herself in me, and she gave me an opportunity. And from that moment forward, I've just put my all into my job. There were moments where I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do, but she never let me give up. And I want to say thank you to her. I also want to say thank you to the board for believing in me and allowing me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you to the staff for your support and your help through the interim period on up to now. Thank you so much to the clerk staff. Maceo is here, and there's also Tanya. She's our administrative assistant. They've been so supportive and so helpful throughout this entire process, even while I was a deputy clerk. And also thank you to my family and my friends and my daughter, my dad. He's actually a truck driver, and he made sure he had a route to let him off at a store off 15501. And one of my best friends went and picked him up to make sure that he got here to see this moment. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I love y'all, and I'm going to do my best to continue to serve Durham County.
I'd like to give our board a chance to share comments. Commissioner Reckow.
Well, Monica, I just want to say that it's been a pleasure watching you grow and really blossom in this position. And it's great when we can promote from within and give someone who has really worked their way up within Durham County government leadership position. And so I'm just so pleased that you have gotten to this point, and you really deserve it. During the past several months, when you served as interim, you stepped up and just did a great job. And so I expect you will continue to do a great job.
Thank you.
Commissioner
Sure.
Harrington.
Monica, I too want to say congratulations again and again, and thank you. Thank you for, one thing, for your commitment to learning, to being coached, and you had a perfect coach. She's sitting out there. You know, not always people are willing to be coached in order to be better, and you were willing to take that on. So I say kudos to you. Thank you. Congratulations. I enjoy working.
Monica, congratulations. And all the hard work that you put in during the interim period really proved to us that you were the perfect choice to be our clerk. I thank you for the commitment that you've shown us. You've taken care of us. I know I've been on the road sometimes, and I'll call you sometimes early in the morning. Hey, I'm having problems with this and that, and you get right on it. So I appreciate everything that you've done for us, taking care of the board, and I know you will be a great asset to Durham County. Like Commissioner Reckow said, it's great when we can pull people up from in our own ranks. That means that we're hiring good people and we're training good people, and you're an example of that, and we're proud of you, and we look forward to you being here for many years and taking care of board after board after board. So thank you.
I would just quickly say my colleagues are all spot on. I want to tell your dad, I'm so glad he made it here tonight because his daughter is awesome. We're lucky she'll put up with us. She's very responsive, always follows up very quickly, and in such an adept way. And I want her daughters at Taylor, be sure and take care of your mama when she gets home at night, because we're not easy people to work for.
And I just want to echo everyone's comments. I know that Michelle is sitting here very proud because I think this is what it's about, mentoring people, and so we've seen the results of that here. I think that you're a great role model for your daughter. As a single mother who has really worked your way up, the way you have gone to school while you're working, and what you have accomplished is really tremendous. And it has been a pleasure to see you really grow and develop. That's what life is all about, and you're achieving that, and you're really the consummate professional. So thank you so much for serving our board and serving Durham County. Thank you. Okay, we have a number of consent items, 19-0239 through 19-0273. Are there any items to be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Howardin, seconded by Commissioner Reckow. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the consent agenda is unanimously approved. Next, we have a public hearing on Rougemont Commercial, 19-0257. And we have Emily Struthers from the Durham Planning Department.
Good evening. I'm Emily Struthers with the Planning Department. I would like to state for the record that all Planning Department hearing items have been advertised and noticed in accordance with state and local law, and affidavits of all notices are on file in the Planning Department. I will now present case Z18-00037, Rougemont Commercial. The applicant is George Venters of Glandon Forest Equity, LLC. This 2.37 acre site includes 3 parcels located at 12907 North Roxborough Road, 12807 North Roxborough Road, and 123 Bill Pool Road. This site is located within the county's jurisdiction. The applicant proposes to change the zoning from commercial neighborhood CN and residential suburban -10 RS10 to commercial neighborhood with a text-only development plan. The property is designated commercial on the future land use map, which is consistent with the zoning request. Text-only development plans are a relatively new type of development plan that allows proper text commitments that specify, limit, and/or prohibit uses within the zoning district requested pursuant to UDO Section 5.1, the use table. As the name suggests, no graphic plan is provided with a text-only development plan. This rezoning request includes a text commitment that the following CN uses shall be prohibited: drive-through facilities, dry cleaning, payday lenders or check cashing services, psychic or mediums, taxi dispatch center, animal kennel, and restaurants with drive-through facilities. A list of the uses permitted within CN zoning can be found in attachment 5 of the staff report. The 2.37 acre site is shown hatched on the aerial map. It is located at the corner of Bill Pool Road and North Roxborough Road in the rural development tier and the rural village. The site is also located within Lake Mickey Little River District B watershed protection overlay. These site photos show that the site contains both open field and wooded areas with hardwood and pine. The site is adjacent to a mix of uses including commercial, industrial, residential, and a place of worship. This zoning context map shows the area as it exists and as proposed. The applicant proposes to change the CN and RS10 zoning to CN with a text-only development plan, limiting the permitted uses as previously outlined. The property is designated commercial on the future land use map, which is consistent with the rezoning request. Dimensional standards for CN district, the commercial neighborhood dimensional standards within the rural tier include a minimum site area of 2 acres, a maximum project floor area of 20,000 square feet, although under certain conditions, a minor special use permit is required for more than 5,000 square feet of floor area. A minimum street, side, and rear yard of 25 feet. And building coverage is limited to 23%, and maximum building height is 50 feet. The proposed CND zoning designation complies with the current commercial designation on the future land use map and applicable policies. The proposal is consistent with comprehensive plan policies, including Policy 221A, Rural Tier Development Focus, 221E, Rural Villages, 221G, Rural Service Centers, and 232A, Infrastructure Capacity. With regard to infrastructure, please note that this site proposes to be served by a septic system and county water. At this time, county water availability cannot be guaranteed. This issue would need to be resolved prior to site plan approval. Further detail is provided in the staff report. The Planning Commission, at their April 19th, 2019 meeting, recommended approval of the proposed CND zoning district by a vote of 8-3. Staff determines that this request is consistent with the comprehensive plan and other policies and ordinances. 2 motions are required for this application. The first is to adopt a consistency statement, and the second is for the zoning ordinance. Staff is available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And I just want to check with staff that we don't have anyone signed up to speak on this item. I see we have some residents here. I just want to make sure that people know that they can sign up if they want to. You just need to fill out a form that is over with the staff, and you're welcome to do that. Questions for staff, and then I'll open the public hearing in a minute. Any questions? I have Mr. Hill.
I'm looking at the prohibited businesses, I guess, that would be that would be excluded from this site. One thing I didn't see was the tobacco shops. I know we've had some issues with tobacco shops here in the county.
The applicant has not listed that at this time. I believe the applicant is available to respond to that.
Okay. And convenience stores that sell malt beverages, what about that?
That also has not been listed. Again, the applicant may be able to respond.
Thank you.
I had a similar question for staff, which was, were there recommendations of any other uses that we've had problems with that we might want to add to the list? So that's if there were any other recommendations.
Staff doesn't have any recommendations to that end at this time.
Or that were heard from the community.
The only issue that was brought up at the Planning Commission was in regards to traffic in the area in general. None were specific to the use.
Okay. Commissioner Recco?
Well, there was one other issue that was raised by the planning. That was and I wanted to pursue that a little bit because when you think of village, you would that would be able to walk out. And so, was there any discussion with the applicant about building a sidewalk?
So the applicant has applied for a text-only development plan. It's sort of a step above a straight rezoning. So as far as commitments that they're able to proffer at the rezoning stage, they're limited to use, either proposing or limiting. To provide further proffers or commitments, they would need to go through a full full development plan, which would include the graphic depictions of.
They can't, as part of text only, offer that when they submit the site would have a sidewalk, at least on.
At the current time, the UDO doesn't allow for text commitments beyond use. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that we further explore. I think we were kind of rolling out the first iteration of text-only development plans, and that has been feedback we've received from Planning Commission as well.
Yeah, that's quite concerning, and I would just say that I think there's probably consensus here that those type of proffers should not, I mean, we went with a text-only site plan because we wanted to help make it easier for people to not have to put the expense into a development plan, but it shouldn't be at the expense of things addressing concerns that either staff or other boards or commissions or community members have. So I think that we really need to ask that staff look at that and what we can do to amend that for the future.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because that, I totally agree with what Commissioner Recco said. I think the intent of creating the rural village, commercial villages, that hopefully at some point in the future there would be enough commercial there that people would be able to walk or maybe ride their bike and then walk. So Commissioner Carter.
Just to be sure I understand, is this our only chance to, try to negotiate with the applicant for sidewalks in the future, but we can't do it now because of the way the regulations are written?
Good evening, Pat Young with Planning Department. Commissioner Carter and other commissioners who've asked about this. Fundamentally, yes, this is the only opportunity to have a legally binding means of committing to the sidewalk development, which cannot be done through the tool that the applicant has chosen, as you heard from Ms. Struthers. As Chair Jacobs suggested, we are absolutely looking at ways to modify and expand the text-only development plan to allow that type of commitment without going to the full suite of requirements that are very costly. But we don't have that in place today. So some other additional context I'll quickly provide, which is that there was a policy decision made many years ago with the development of the UDO in 2005 and 2006 to not require sidewalk in the rural tier because the rural tier is in the county's jurisdiction and there's no entity that maintains sidewalks, right? So these would have to be strictly private sidewalks on the applicant's site. And DOT has also indicated they do not accept sidewalk in their rights of way. So that's an additional complication and a policy issue that through the comprehensive plan process we want to look at more closely. We don't have a good mechanism to ensure an integrated network of sidewalks without that policy.
It just seems like I hear all that you're saying about the challenges here, but it does seem like it will be more difficult to go back retroactively and ever get sidewalks. And I wish there were a way to have them now.
The only thing I would add to that is that if the applicant proposes I believe it's 5,000 square feet of a building, they would be required to go to the Board of Adjustment for a special use permit. I believe that would be the only opportunity for.
So I would
also want to raise something else.
Yes, Commissioner Recco.
So in the staff report, there was a reference to related to utilities and water that there's a proviso, which I didn't remember, that for the Rougemont community water system, not necessarily available for commercial uses, that it seemed like, I can't remember the exact wording, but that there was a preference or that it was supposed to be used for residential. So can you elaborate here on how that worked out?
Sure.
I don't know if anyone from hearing can provide.
Drew.
Obviously, they're going to need water.
Yeah, Drew, probably address that. Okay.
Good evening, Pat Young with Planning Department. I am not an engineer, but I did talk at length to Jay Gibson and Stephanie Brixley with engineering, and then Drew or Perry can chime in here. But my understanding is this: that the state permit associated with the water system limits the number of commercial enterprises, non-residential, that can be connected to the system. However, that permit can be modified, and that the county has, engineering has indicated the willingness to work with the applicant to go to the state to get the permit modified, to allow the additional use, as long as the use does not have a significant impact on the system, that it can produce a flow rate and a fire flow rate that's adequate. And based on the proposed range of uses the applicant has brought to engineering, that seems likely. But that there will be a process will be required, state review and approval will be required before this can be permitted.
I think the only thing I would add is that when we got the system going, we had sort of an internal agreement that we would wait at least a year and see how operation went through a full season of operation before we would consider any request to add on any residential or commercial users. And I'm assuming that if they've indicated, that they believe there's capacity to add on this use, that it won't have an adverse impact on the system itself or the other users.
So I think it's important that we get this established, because I don't want question of whether water's available to deter commercial development in this village. Part of the reason we put in the water system was to allow commercial development to go in and prosper in this area. And so I really thought the wording was alarming, the way it was stated, because and if an applicant were to go in and hear that wording from staff preliminarily, they might decide, yeah, I don't want to take the risk. We've got to tie this down. We want, the residents in Rougemont and Bahama are tired of driving tens of miles for services, goods, and the whole idea of allowing village development was to get services closer to them. So, and then we've invested in this water system. I would certainly hope that we can get this straightened out with the state so that it's not viewed as a deterrent for commercial to go in. I would be concerned if I were developing property about that.
Well, it sounds like the staff is working on that now. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. I think related to the sidewalk issue, I understand we don't require sidewalks in the county, but I hope that you'll look at this where we have designated rural villages is a unique situation. And I hope that it will be looked at within that context.
Yeah, Chair Jacobs, you certainly have my commitment, both in terms of the water system coordinating with the county engineering and the sidewalk requirements to have differential or specified standards for the villages. Commissioner Reckow and you have made great comments in that regard, and staff has talked about this a lot internally in reflection of this case, that we need to support those villages with a more urban type of infrastructure, as you've described.
So related to that, in the staff report, it said no transit is currently available, but I do want to note that we do have transit that is being planned that is supposed to start up this coming year. It's in the Durham County Transit Plan to run a shuttle from Rougemont down to Durham. And so I'm wondering, do we know exactly where that is going to be at this time?
So we don't. We've been working with our partners at Go Triangle to talk through the nature of that service. I think that's somewhat under study now, whether it would be, and I'd have to get Eric Lanfried or somebody else from Go Triangle to speak in more detail, but I think they're looking at whether this would be a paratransit, kind of an on-call service, or a van, or a small bus, or what the periodicity of the service would be. I don't believe those things have all been finalized, but you were definitely correct that that is part of the upcoming year's transit plan, to have some type of transit service for Rougemont.
Because if there's going to be a park and ride lot, then it obviously makes sense to have it within the rural village area, which would also support some of this commercial growth as well. So I hope that will be looked at together when we implement that, but that is coming.
Yes, indeed.
Okay,
Thank you.
Commissioner Carter.
Just one more question about the sidewalks. Do we have any inclination as to how the applicant feels about sidewalks and the possibility of constructing one, even though it can't be proffered?
The applicant's here if you.
Oh,
Okay, so I'll open the public hearing, and then we could ask for the applicant to come up. So I'm going to open the public hearing now. We have 2 people signed up to speak, who one I think may be the applicant, Brent Purdom. And if you don't mind coming over to this is where we use for the public, if you just come and state your name and address over here.
Part of the reason we're making you walk so far is there's a timer there.
I'm just trying to get my 10,000 steps. My name is Brent Purdom, and I am with Triangle Site Design, and it's 4004 Barrett Drive, Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm here on behalf of George Venters with Glandon Forest Equity. He had a family thing he had to take care of this evening, that's why he couldn't make it. But to answer your question, I'll go ahead and start off with the sidewalk. Usually the tenants do not want a sidewalk on their property just for liability purposes. And I know in the previous meetings that we've had with transportation stating they didn't want a sidewalk or any bike lanes because they don't have a way to maintain them. And then NCDOT coming in and saying that they didn't want the sidewalks. So at this point, Glandon Forest is really not set up to put in the sidewalks right now.
thank you for that.
And I'm here, if you got any other questions, I'd be glad to answer them. We did have a neighborhood meeting. We had, I think, 6 or 7 people show up, and there was no concerns. Most of them just wanted to know what the use was going to be, what we were doing, that kind of thing. But there was really no concerns from the community itself. And the type of use that we're looking at is a use that's for the area. It's not one that generates traffic from great distances to come in. It's designed, the way that they market is designed for a small 2 to 4 mile type radius of people. You know, trying to limit really, a lot of traffic, trying to travel further to go to different stores and things like that. If you guys have any questions, I'm glad to answer what I can.
Commissioner Hill, did you have a question about some of the uses or?
Sure. I saw there were some businesses that would be prohibited. I was wondering if you would consider adding tobacco shops, and if you were going to put any kind of convenience store that sold malt beverages on the land stated.
Yeah, the tobacco use, that's not in the plans at all. I can probably get that added to this list if I need to do something with Mr. Others on that.
Okay.
As for the malt, is that like, you talking like milkshakes or things?
No, sir. Malt beverages, beer, wine.
Like beer?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what they sell.
No. I have no problem with restaurants or even a bar, right? But my question was something like a convenience store, right? Because people tend to then order, right?
It's not a convenience store as in like, you talking about like a gas station type?
Yes, sir.
Store? No, it's more like a retail sales. It's going to have some food products.
Okay.
It's going to have general merchandise and things like that. So
That's
I don't know
fine.
if they sell beer or not, though.
All right.
Okay, well, any other questions for Mr. Purdom? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
So next we have Russell Markham. Mr. Markham here. And Mr. Markham, if you don't mind just coming and stating your address, name and address. And you have 3 minutes to speak. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Russell Markham, and my wife and I reside at 12912 Roxborough Road, just across the road from the subject property. And we know that growth and commercialism is most likely inevitable, but we were hoping that it would be prolonged and not come so soon. And we've heard from neighbors that the proposed use for the property would be a Dollar General. And we're opposed to a Dollar General. My wife and I, we are both natives of Durham County, and so we have a lot of friends and relatives, and we care about what happens in the community. And there's a Dollar General not too far north of the property on the left side as you're heading into Person County. And the property, if it has to be used for commercial use, could be used much better for the community in many ways. And in regards to the water, initially the community well was designated for 41 households. And commercial use would overtask the current community well. I think a new community well for commercial use only should be looked at. We would like to see businesses along the lines of restaurants or hotels established in the Rougemont area for travelers between Roxborough and Durham, businesses that would complement the area with a more substantial tax base. And Dollar General is not the type of business we're looking for.
Thank you. I guess I have a follow-up question with staff related to the concern that Mr. Markham had about the water. How would that be monitored in terms of impact to, or just addressed related to how it could impact the individual users? How would we do that?
I mean, I think that's ultimately a better question for our engineering staff, but since they're not here, I think I'll just point out that they're constantly monitoring both the supply and the quality of the water, and wouldn't be approving new users in general if they thought that it would adversely impact either quantity or quality for other users. That's not the goal we have for our new water system up.
Well, I will note that it was very clear in the report that it will not be approved if the assessment is done that there is not adequate water capacity. That was stressed several times in the reports. And in terms of your concern about the use, we can only, vote based on the general use, not on a particular. We don't know exactly what the use is going to be at this point. We have to just go on the general uses that are permittable. That's why Commissioner Hill was concerned about the alcohol being sold at the store or something like that.
Doesn't our comprehensive plan call for, and don't we have it on the work to village plan?
Yeah. It's been on hold for a while.
Well, so no, we completed the Rougemont Village Plan 6 or 7 years ago. The Bahama Village Plan is still on the
Okay, so it's Bahama.
Right.
still on the pending list.
So when I read the staff report, I didn't see references to that plan. Why didn't we review this proposal in the?
Well, sure. So the UDO has been updated with the recommendations that came out of that Rougemont plan, and those are reflected in the report. So those are reported on in the report. Certainly state for the record that the idea of a commercial use in this location is directly consistent, as Chair Jacobs alluded to, with the Rougemont plan, which was intended to encourage more commercial activity in the portion of Rougemont, the village portion of Rougemont.
But I do think, trying to see,
It says consistency with adopted plans, but
it doesn't.
it doesn't mention.
Specifically reference the Rougemont. I actually think we should hold this for a cycle. I'd like to be able to read the Rougemont plan and make sure there's no further guidance, because we have nothing in the staff report telling us that it.
So to reiterate what Pat had said there, the plans that were looked at, we don't list them all out specifically, but that one was considered, and many of the policies that are outlined in the comprehensive plan attachment reflect concerns from that plan itself. The reference to the UDO as well, kind of summarizing those elements with regard to commercial and the requirements in that tier and area.
Well, but I remember those meetings, and the citizens came out, several visioning meetings and plan meetings, and plan was supposed to reflect their vision for their community. As I say, I feel a little uncomfortable because it was just sitting here now, because it wasn't referenced in the report, that I thought, well, we either called for a plan or there was a plan. But bottom line is, if it's been done, I really do think that have reviewed it.
So what I'm going to propose, we can close the public hearing. And I'm going to propose that we bring this back could even be at one of our June 11th, or not June 11th, what's our next meeting, June 10th or June 24th meeting, and in the interim, make sure that we all get sent a copy of the Rougemont plan.
Sure, and I apologize
Yeah.
for that. In the future, we will more specifically call out each plan that we review. That just a lot of them sometimes, so I apologize for that.
Yeah. Okay, so when would be, do you have a preference about the date that we bring this back?
If it's pleases the commission, we would ask for the 2-cycle till the June 24th.
So actually, should we keep the public hearing open then?
And so we'd ask you to continue it to that date.
Okay, so
That'll give us enough time to produce a supplemental report that
Okay.
goes into detail.
Okay, so maybe we need to actually not close the public hearing, keep the public hearing open, continue this for,
So 2 cycles. I would ask if the applicant could acknowledge their availability on that. It would be obviously useful to have the applicant in attendance at that meeting.
what would be the date of that?
24th, June 24th.
June 24th?
Oh, it would, if we could do it before, that would be better. That way we could have George Venters here on the first Tuesday, I guess, instead of the 24th.
Second
Monday.
June 10th.
I'm just trying to ensure the staff has enough time to produce a thoughtful analysis and against the plan that has enough detail to address the concerns that Commissioner Recco and others have raised.
Okay, well, we'll make that date work. We'll make the 24th work.
Okay. Okay, so we are continuing the public hearing, and we're delaying this until June 24th with further information about the Rougemont Rural Village Plan.
Very good, thank you.
Madam Chair, I would ask that the date that it's going to be continued to be a part of any motion that's going to be made
Okay,
to continue.
Okay, I move that we continue this request to Monday, June 24th, and that the public hearing remain open.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Recco, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion is unanimous. Okay, we have boards and commission appointments.
Madam Chair, I have your result. Ready? At this time, I'll announce your results for appointments to the various boards and commissions. For the Dangerous Dog Appeal Board, you can select one person. You've selected Michelle Digsby. For the Durham City County Appearance Commission, you can select one person. You've selected Martha Scottford. For the Durham County Hospital Corporation Board of Trustees, you can select one person. You've selected Tara Blackley. For the Memorial Stadium Authority, you can select one person, and you've selected Dan Mushan. For the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee, you can select 3 persons. You've selected Sylvia Alston, Jacqueline Goking, and Brenda Brown. For the Public Health Board, you can select 1 person. You've selected Eric Ireland. For the Women's Commission, you can select 1 person. You've selected Cynthia Bland. And for the Workforce Development Board, you can select 1 person, and you've selected Anthony Nelson. That concludes the results of your votes.
The board is requested to adjourn to closed session to discuss matters relating to the location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body, including agreement on a tentative list of economic development incentives that may be offered by the public body in negotiations pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A4. Moved by Commissioner Reckow, seconded by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're unanimously adjourned in a closed session. I did want to acknowledge we have I noticed our 2 interns sitting in the back there. You mind just coming up for a minute so we can recognize you in the back? And I don't know if everyone's gotten a chance to meet you for the summer, and just say your name and how we're lucky enough to have you here, where you're from.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobs. My name is Sabrina Davis. I am a rising second-year Master of Public Policy student at Duke University. I'm originally from Connecticut, but I now call Durham home. I'm really grateful and honored to have this opportunity to intern with the Strategic Initiatives team this summer, and I look forward to hopefully being able to meet all of you this summer as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly Waring. I'm entering my 2nd year at NC State in the Masters in Public Administration program, and I live here in Durham. Really excited to be here and excited for the internship with the Strategic Initiatives team.
Well, great. Well, we're so thrilled that you're both here with us this summer. So welcome. Okay, so we're now adjourned to closed session.
I look forward to working with you. Anytime. Yeah, I'm
We have adjourned from closed session and given direction to staff. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're unanimously adjourned.